Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. We've got a slew of indie games to talk about today, and man, I just gotta say, indie devs are really upping their game lately, from insane-looking combat to graphics that would make a AAA studio jealous. Indie gaming is truly something special, but before we get into some awesome-looking titles you should know about, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh. And joining me, he's half of Team Smash Bros, smashing people in the face with Mjolnir and wondering just how he ends up with half my kills. It's Ryan.
Hello, laddies. I'm here for the tears of metal.
Is Thor Irish?
It's for future discussion.
It's
on topic, laddie.
I didn't know Thor was
Pay
Irish.
attention.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, hey, you learn something new every day on this podcast. Oh, boy. I don't even know how to follow that up, so let's just go with this one. And joining us, he's the healer supreme, and his back may be hurting, but it's not because he's middle-aged. It's because he's busy carrying the team with his epic healing skills. It's Ace.
It's time to put on a show, baby.
All right.
Oh,
what
man.
a combo, man. The Bash Brothers and then Ace Healer Supreme. Nobody can stop us.
They can't. They
No.
can't. As, if people can't tell, we've been playing a good bit of Rivals still.
Way
We
too
have-
much Rivals.
I don't know that it's too much, Ace.
Never too
I think
much.
it's just the right amount.
Does it feel good? Then it's,
Yeah.
well, not
Yeah,
all the
it does
time.
feel real
When
good.
Not
we're
all the
winning,
time, but
it's just
yeah,
the
when we're
right
winning.
amount.
Yeah, when we're losing terribly, it feels real bad.
Why do I play this game?
What is this ball and chain I've tied myself to?
Oh, man. Dude, I have a very love-hate relationship with Rivals. Love it when we're winning. Hate it when we have bad teammates and we're losing.
It brings out the
and stuff,
Overwatch in you, man. It's. I can see your salty
so-
nature.
Just,
Like
dude,
it's like,
my
you know,
family's already picking up on it.
you
My daughter
see,
the other day was like,
they call it salt creep, like with aquariums and other stuff, where just
Oh,
the
yeah.
evaporation and the salt residue is there. Like I can
Getting
see
crusty.
it. I can see it form on Josh's body. Like he just forms this salt layer around him.
But then, like, nights like last night, it all just falls away, man. Because then we're like, we're so good at this game, man. We're smashing people. Ace is keeping us alive. We're just laying the law down.
Get the Luna. Oh,
Yeah.
get Namor. Yeah. Namor. Yeah. Oh, he's dead. All right, next one.
Clear the point.
Yeah.
We're so great.
As a healer myself, I couldn't help but feel bad for those people.
Oh,
You guys were just on them constantly.
it was gnarly. So, all right. Well, people are like, dude, I thought this was an indie episode. Is this the Rivals?
We'll get there.
podcast?
We'll get
Part
there.
two.
We're getting there, people. Don't worry. We just got to brag a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
We actually have an incredible amount of indie titles to talk about. The Triple I initiative happened, which gives us a look at a lot of different indie titles. Ace, you actually put this list together for us. I know one game on this list, so that tells you how much more in touch Ace is with the indie scene there. But I saw this one and I was like, ooh, I've heard of that game. But I'll tell you what, man, let's just jump in, man, because we've got a lot to cover on this. I want to start off with the one game that I knew about, and this is. I mean, all I gotta do is say one thing, and I know you guys are gonna answer.
Say
properly.
it. Come
Say
on,
it.
let's go.
and stone!
Rock and stone!
See, gamers know, man. Everybody knows. Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core. What's funny about this is we've actually had people in our community saying, hey, have you guys seen this? Are you going to talk about it? Like, are you excited about it? Because we have covered Deep Rock Galactic as a deep dive. Fantastic game. When people say, hey, what's a game that I can play with my buddies that's a lot of fun? Deep Rock Galactic is one of those suggestions that is just so easy to throw out there because you're going to have a good time. Like, plain and simple. You're just going to enjoy it.
Yep.
Then we covered Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It's Survivors, right? Isn't that the...
Yes, that's the roguelike one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
the
the
roguelike
roguelike.
auto shooter one.
Yeah,
I
that
just,
one's
I
some-
want to say that, but then I'm like, is it Vampire Survivors? And I'm just crossing up the name there. We covered that as a deep dive as well, because it's very much a different game, and actually one of my favorite games in that genre.
So good.
And now we have Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core, which is a co-op roguelike game. It looks like Deep Rock Galactic. I mean, it kind of like these guys took their game and then they just went, how many different genres can we make out of this base material? So, Ace, why don't you tell us a little bit about Rogue Core, kind of what it looks like you do in that, and just give us a little bit more info on that one.
Well, Rogue Core looks like a roguelike, of course, because, well, I mean, come on, where you're going to gather, upgrades and things like that don't carry over, obviously, to your next run, but there's probably some kind of permanent progression. And you take on hordes and hordes of enemies with your best buds, man. And these aren't the bugs either. These are like
They're
some
not
kind
the
of
bugs.
new monster.
They look like almost like zombie, like not zombies, but they're like some kind of weird alien creature zombie thing. So it is funny that they changed it up from just the bugs, which I think is a nice little touch. So you feel like you're actually fighting some new enemies. Ryan, thoughts on this one?
I'm stoked. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't do this. Like, they have just a rabid fan base that absolutely loves this IP, and any iteration, they're going to scoop it up and buy it and just yell rock and stone, So it's one of those that the second you can get in on something like this, you will, if you like this stuff. And, I'm one of them, man. The second I saw it, I'm like, yep, I'm in. I gotta try it out.
This.
Yeah.
I want to play this.
I know.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. And it's funny because I joke around like how many different genres are they going to make their game, but like I'm in for this, dude. They're all fun.
Yeah.
I have not played a Deep Rock game that I didn't enjoy. And people are like, there's only 2 of them, but that's 100%, So, and this Rogue Core looks like it is going to just be dumb fun with your buddies. This game doesn't take itself seriously. The upgrades that you get looked good to me. I mean, they kind of flash up on the screen and you can see people picking from the different upgrade paths and stuff like that. We know that Deep Rock has classes, so you're going to get the engineer, the miner, that kind of stuff. This just looks like it's going to be dumb fun with your friends, and I am in for that 100% of the time, dude.
Yeah.
And you love a good roguelike where you can build like a nice
do,
custom build on your
I like progression.
Well, that is progression by
That
nature,
is,
but
yeah.
it is like Risk of Rain 2. Like one of my favorite things about that is you'll play 50 matches and maybe 5 of those you get that super OP build that's just game breaking.
Yeah.
But that's the carrot, right? Is it's like, dude, I want that one again. And so you play again and maybe you don't get the super overpowered build, but you make the best of it. And it's just that enticement of like, hey man, this run's going to be different than the run before because we're going to give you different upgrades, different weapons, different abilities and that kind of thing. And it really does keep me invested. I think the short runtime of a roguelike, plays into people like us that are busy, and we got a lot going on. And it's like, hey, we can hop in for 1 round of this, play 10 minutes or however long a round takes. And then we can dip out and go eat dinner with the family or whatever it is that we need to do at that point too. So, this one, I'm going to say it already. I'm in on Rogue Core, boys. So
Anything
Rock and
with
Stone.
man. Yeah, Rock and Stone.
Oh man. We don't have a release date on that one yet, do we?
I don't believe
as far as
so,
projected.
no.
It's funny because I've seen so many people like talking about this, but it's like and it's going to come out in early access, which
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
Release date
whatever.
planned
Everything
to
is
be
now.
announced.
Yeah, planned to be announced. So
Yeah.
I mean, this game's already made. It can't. Hopefully, it'll happen this year. But
Yeah, I
And then
have faith in them.
speaking of Stone, now I will say this right away. This is a genre that does not resonate with me at all. I get that people love it. We have a lot of people in our community that love these type of games. SnowRunner is probably one of the more popular ones in this. But there's this game called Over the Hill, and I was like, of course Ace put this on the list. But like, what a pleasant looking game, man. Like, I feel just vibed out. I feel like I just am chill and the world is peaceful.
Yeah.
And I just feel zen and everything is great.
Dude, this game made me like emotional watching the trailer. Like I felt something watching it because it's this game where you it's a co-op game, thankfully too, which is great. But you get in your cars and you're gonna travel over rough terrain together, and you gotta help your buddies if they get stuck in the mud, and you don't want to leave anyone behind. But you're just like driving across the countryside or up mountains together, taking in the landscapes. And I think maybe Ryan, you want to come do that with me since Josh doesn't want to.
I know.
Josh definitely doesn't want to, for sure. The one thing that it made me feel is it gave me that vibe of like what I wish Pacific Drive made me feel like, and maybe this could give me that pleasant, cozy feeling of just exploration and a great environment, a great scenery, and that's what I wanted out of Pacific Drive. But there were so many bugs and so many issues with the car vehicle stuff. We know all that. We've beat it into the ground, but this definitely it piqued my interest for sure. And I'm not usually one for these types of games, but I was highly impressed by the trailer.
It's something about it, man, where like, you have games that you can play with your buddies where you fight armies or you race tracks and things like that. There's not many games where like you have buddies across, the United States, across the country, which is like, you can't drive together. You can't hang out together out in the wilderness. So why not do it online? Don't you get it, Josh? Don't you see the vision?
Get it. Number one, I hate driving because like going on vacation, like I just want to be there. I don't want to spend 6 hours like getting to the fun. I just want to be there. So like the 6 hour driving to me is like the bad part. And then like I am I love chaos. I love fast paced. And then like a game where it's like, but what are we doing? And Ace is like, follow me. And I'm like, cool. Where are we going? We're going up this mountain.
We're going up the mountain.
Why? Why are we going up the mountain?
To get to the top, bro.
To get to the top
what are
and
we
take
going to
a
do when
picture.
we're there?
We're
Go
gonna
down
take
the
a
other
picture
side.
together.
I can take a picture from down here.
We're gonna
And then
build
we don't have to
memories.
drive all that way.
Don't you want to build memories with me?
They last forever.
No, I know people love this, and yes, dude, it feels and looks so chill. Like the game looks great. I just go like, this is just going to put me to sleep. I'm just going to be like, why are we doing this? Where are we going? Are we there yet?
Ace, are we there yet? Ace, are we there yet?
Yeah.
Oh no,
What's over
okay,
here?
maybe I
Nothing.
don't want to play it either. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. What's over here? Nothing. Okay, cool. What's over there? Nothing. Let's go.
We were
Why are we going to see nothing?
just talking about how we're forest mountain people, Josh, and we just want to be
I do
out in the
love the
wilderness. And then this is a game like tailored exactly to that. And you're
I'm
like,
not in the
I want
wilderness.
no
I'm
part of
sitting
it.
in my chair being bored. Like, it's like
You're
I will
telling
say-
me with that giant monitor, OLED, everything you have,
I'd
you
feel like I'm driving.
You can't dive into it. See, I love driving. My wife makes fun of me. I get the car wash before road trips. I get everything prepped, and I'm like, all right,
you
let's
get washed
go, baby.
before a road trip?
Oh,
It's just
don't
gonna
tell
get
me
covered
like
in bugs.
Oh, come
It's just
on,
gonna
no.
get covered
You
in
gotta
bugs.
leave in a
You
clean
get it washed
vehicle.
when you get home.
No, you get
Oh,
washed
no.
before and when you get back. You
Okay,
got it.
Some
supposed
of
to be a
us
chill
can't
game.
afford 2 car washes, Ryan.
Some of us can
You
do
know.
it ourselves. You got arms,
Wait,
brother.
dude, okay. You actually wash your own car by hand.
Yes.
Ryan, we got to have a talk, buddy.
I thought I was supposed to be the old
we
one.
actually said this the other day. You're at the stage in life where you can just pay to go through a car wash and save that hour of work.
I'm
man.
recovering from the big hole I dug for that tree that
Yeah.
we just got delivered.
Yeah,
so
All right, so Over the Hill is a thumbs up from both of you,
Yep.
and I will listen. I'll give it a thumbs up. I think the game looks incredible. It is so peaceful looking. The art style is fantastic. The voiceover just was so calm and soothing. And I get it, Ace. Like you were kind of like, dude, this does make you a little emotional. Like it is a beautiful looking game. So definitely check that one out. Again, that's called Over the Hill.
No release date on that either.
Yeah, I get it. You don't want to promise anything. And indie devs, they just kind of get ready for release and then they just release. They don't try to
it's
do
usually
the
like a shadow drop.
Yeah. Let me give you an
Totally.
announcement about my announcement that we're going to announce, guys. Bungie, where it's like that kind of thing. They just go, hey guys, my game is out. Please play it and like it and tell your friends about it. I'd like to.
or they
make
just
up-
ghost you like a girl from Tinder, like Silk Song, and just you don't hear anything for 5, 6, 7
Then you
million
just get
years.
some random text late at night where it's like, hey, I'm releasing in 2025, by the way.
Hey, by the
I'm
way,
in the Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch 2 Direct,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
just so you know,
Yeah. And you're like, why did you send this to me? You trying to make me jealous? Like, what is this?
I thought we were done.
There are a lot of people nodding right now going, I feel you, boys. I
Oh,
feel-
yeah. They know our pain.
All right. Well, how about this? Let's shift gears.
All
Right? Right?
All
And let's
right.
talk about something completely different than a very chill, tranquil trip up a beautiful mountain. And how about a demonic slot machine? Because you owe the devil a debt. Dude, this Clover Pit. I don't even know. Ace, Ryan, somebody explain this to me, dude.
Hey, Clover Pit is like if you took Balatro and you mixed it with another indie game called Shotgun Roulette. The graphics are pretty much the same as Shotgun Roulette as well, which is also the same as Lethal Company. So you kind of have like a little web of every little like horror indie game.
I got Inscription vibes from this big time, dude.
I would say
Like,
Inscription
big time.
definitely as well, but you owe a debt to the devil, and you have to play this slot machine in order to pay your debt up. And if you don't pay your debt in time, the floor drops out from under you and you fall to hell. So
That's a good incentive, if you ever had
it's a good
one.
incentive to not mess up. But it's like a roguelike too, I believe. So you're going to get upgrades and things as you pay off your debts and get, not permanent progression, I would say. I think it's probably an endless thing.
Yeah.
Like Balatro, but
Dude,
it's going to blow up. I could see it because people love gambling.
dude, oh man, the degenerate gambler in me, I'm a sports bettor. I love gambling. I love Vegas. I love craps. I love throwing bones. I love poker. I'll go and sit for hours. I love everything that is gambling. So this immediately, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks good. Oh, the devil's after me. I'll win. He ain't gonna give me. This floor's not dropping. I'm gonna win this money. And then I'm like, and then I drop
Ryan's
and die.
the first we lose in the Clover Pit, I guess.
I was gonna say Ryan's just gonna be like, just bet it all, one spin.
And Josh is not a gambler.
I'm not.
Dude, he went to Vegas and just went to shows, and he didn't. He played like
no.
No, you watched your wife play slots for a little bit.
I don't like slots. So this is my complaint with this game is like, if I'm going to gamble, I want to play blackjack or craps with friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the two games where you're going to have the most fun. Slot machines to me, I hate RNG is the problem. Like, I mean, people have heard me talk about like, I hate Hearthstone because it's like, I know how to play, but then you get a bad draw or you refresh 7 times and don't get a single, card for the build that you're trying to do or something like that. And it just infuriates me. And having a game that is based on RNG gambling, here's the thing with Balatro, at least you have some like poker knowledge and you can say, okay, well, I have a higher chance of getting this and this hand beats that hand. And there's some skill involved. With a slot machine, it's all just random. And like, have you guys ever accused a game of cheating? Do you remember like way back in the Nintendo days when games were really hard and you're like, dude, this game's cheating.
My son does that now. Cheating? Jackson does that now, dude. He just like yesterday, he's like, this game's cheating.
Yeah. I mean, and so it's like Clover Pit. I'm just going to yell at it. And I'm like, this game's so stupid. It's cheating. There's no way I didn't get that spin.
You get items, though, that can change the odds in your favor. So it's not like totally random. You'll get things that
it's
can
still
sort of
random.
You
It's
could rig the game in your favor, probably.
Slot machines by nature are random, man.
For sure.
So.
But Josh never seen the Buffaloes run. That's for sure, and he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. But Vegas gamblers will know.
The Buffalo machine.
Yeah, the Buffalo machine. Yeah,
the golden Buffalo.
Buffalo
or pinball, dude. That's the one.
Oh man, so
completely lost.
I will say, I think Clover. I will say, I think Clover Pit is going to be one of those games that quite possibly can take the world by storm. Like legitimately, with its like Inscription kind of art style and that dark like weirdness to it. It's going to be addictive like Balatro because it's basically copying Balatro at that point. I mean, it seems to me like there's a lot to like about Clover Pit. It just looks so weird to me, man. This one, again, is not my kind of game because I'll just get frustrated at it.
I agree. I think it'll find its audience. I don't think it's necessarily us, but maybe Ryan.
It might be. I mean, it starts getting the Balatro hype or the Inscription hype. I mean, those were two games that everybody was talking about for a little while. And so, it comes out, people are like, well, this game's great. And it's probably $10. There is a demo for it that you can try. So if you're curious, I mean, I am kind of curious. So there is a demo that is out right now, and this game just says set to release in 2025.
Dude, how cool would it be though? Like, it looks like you're stuck in this room and you're doing all this gambling and stuff, and the floor drops out. How cool would it be if it was tailored for VR too? So where you could just like
Oh,
you pull
then
that-
that would make
And
the
then-
fall a lot scarier.
yeah.
too.
And then you're like, ah!
Falling in VR like trips me out, dude. I don't like heights, so it's like it gets me in
Yeah.
some way, man.
You don't want to fall into
So-
hell in VR?
No, I don't think so. I think
I'll pass.
on that
I'll
one.
pass.
So- All right, real quick before we go to break, guys, let's cover one more. Like Tears of Metal. I saw this game, and this is one where I kind of went up and down, right? Because I'm not a fan of Dynasty Warriors. I don't understand the mindset of just wading through thousands of like soldiers in a single swing. Now, I will say Kingmakers looks like a blast to me, but Kingmakers kind of has that twist where it's like it's modern tech versus old school knights. There's like base defense and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of Dynasty Warriors. And when I saw Tears of Metal, it is very much inspired by Dynasty Warriors, where you were just wading through hordes of guys. And I kind of went, but we already have Dynasty Warriors. Why are you just copying that and then putting like a different art style on it? But then they kind of showed off a little bit more where it's like you get upgrades. It looked like there were classes or something like that. You come up against like big armored hulking enemies that take a lot of your attention. Guys with shields that you have to kind of figure out how to deal with while you're also killing the little hordes of minions and stuff like that. And that's when I kind of went, might be enough variety here to actually keep me interested. And by the end of the trailer, I was kind of like, I mean, this game don't look that bad after all.
And what are they, Josh? What are they? They're Scottish. That was what I was doing in the beginning of the show.
Is
Okay.
that what that was?
Yes, that's what that was. Don't even.
that what
That
that
was a
was?
quality Scottish
That was
accent.
a Scottish
Let's hear what
Thor.
you got then.
Scottish
Come on.
Thor.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing. That was
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
can't-
not
I'm
Thor.
not an impressionist.
It was
dude.
not Thor. It was just Scottish accent.
It
I was
sounded like you were trying
Behold
to be
the
Scottish
god
Thor.
of thunder.
there you go, laddie.
Oh, man.
It's a brother in arms. I love it.
Oh, I
Tears
just
of
can't do
metal.
it, Captain. She hasn't got the power.
Come do it.
Star Trek reference.
We
That's the
we
only Scottish I
apologize
know right
to any
there.
Scottish listeners
Oh,
right now.
man,
Please,
we're
we're sorry.
sorry.
We're dumb Americans.
Formal
so-
apology from all of us.
Also, if you would like to invite us to visit you in Scotland, we would absolutely love to accept.
And we will
at
do the
same
accent the
time.
whole time just for
Oh
you.
no! Oh man, we'll fit right in.
Anyways, I thought that I was not always the biggest Dynasty Warriors fan, but immediately I saw this and thought, oh, it's Scottish Dynasty Warriors. The thing that was a little bit different to me is that it felt like there was some weight to these attacks, and it wasn't just kind of blasting through just paper objects. It felt like you were damaging opponents. You're just OP, you're super powerful, and you can blast through them. So that was something in its favor. It was pretty cool. It looks cool. The music was awesome. I loved the soundtrack.
yeah.
Trailers are a weakness for me, just like Redheads. I get super hyped and over the top excited. So it could have sold me just on a trailer, but I'm gonna wait and see, where we go with it. But it definitely looks cool and the music's awesome.
I think the art style is super cool
Yeah.
too. It's got
Yeah.
this
I
like
do.
cell shaded art style, and you could
Yeah.
build up like armies behind you and stuff.
And the blood's like, over the
yeah, it's
top
got
and
these
stuff.
cool
Yeah.
finishing moves you could do on all your enemies.
Yeah.
Plus, it's co-op.
Yeah.
You could play it with friends.
See, Ace, quit selling me on this, man. I told you in the beginning I thought it was okay, and by the end of the trailer, I was like, oh, like all right.
If we
Like,
play
could
together, we
slaughter
gotta
armies together.
we
Like,
gotta do the accent the whole time though when we
oh,
play
the
together.
whole time.
I'm just gonna say I'm William Wallace the whole time. Yeah.
What will you do without freedom?
There's people that are like, number one, wrong history. Like we don't like that. This accent's terrible. Please stop.
What does this have to do with video games?
Yeah, right. Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, we've gotten off the rails. All right, well, it's probably time to take a break, boys, so we can practice our Scottish accents. But all right, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about Duskfade, that might be the best looking game on this list that we got, but we'll come back right after this. Goodness gracious, that was bad. I feel like I want to apologize, but at this point, there's just no excuse.
That was the Rock and Stone voice.
I don't. It was Dwarven. It was. I don't even know what it was. Sorry. Let's talk about Duskfade. Duskfade looks incredible. Ace, you said this might be the game that you're actually most excited about on this list.
Absolutely. Dude, this is a 3D action platformer that just gives me so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
And it definitely reminds me of like Kingdom Hearts with the style, because instead of a key, you're using a clock hand to fight off enemies and stuff.
How
we don't
original.
know, like, a ton about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's very original. Don't you slander Dusk. I'll get you.
We can slander anything around here.
But like, just looking at it, it just looks like a joy to play. And it looks like really tight and fun. And I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are like super into 3D platformers anymore, except for
I like 3D platformers, man. The last one that I played legitimately was Battle for Bikini Bottom as a hijack host, which I absolutely loved. I wound up going, this game's great. We've talked about a game called Tito. That's an upcoming indie title. We've talked to the developers on that. That game, we played the demo for it. I think that's a fantastic game. I'm really excited for that one. I mean, Duskfade looks like it hits it's like it take every checkbox that you want from a 3D platformer, especially from an indie developer, and just check it. Beautiful visuals, check. Like great animation and movement, check. Different abilities and like set pieces where you're grinding on rails and jumping from one to the other or through a cave or something like that. Like check. Here's my concern with this game looks so good to me, dude. It is polished. It's beautiful. It's a top-notch looking game. And my biggest worry is that this is one of those games that can just disappear into oblivion because they cannot get the name out.
Yeah.
And it's like, and people look at it and they just go, this looks like every other 3D platformer out there. And like, that's a terrible, like, I don't want that to happen, but it's like, this is very much a game that could just never hit relevancy at all. And that kind of like, that worries me a little bit for them.
I mean, I recently talked about a 3D indie platformer on one of our Instagram shorts, which you should all go follow our Instagram if you're not.
Absolutely.
Nice, good
You'll
plug.
get some bonus. You'll get some bonus content from us. But I talked about a 3D action platformer called A Hat in Time, which was super popular when it came out for like the first few months. And then now it's kind of disappeared in obscurity because it's just like every other 3D platformer, really.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely concerned about that with this one, especially with how little is known about it and how little people know about it. Ryan, you loved Astrobot, so I imagine you're excited for this.
It does look cool. I will say I'm not the biggest for these kind of super cartoony looking, type worlds. But the more I watched, the more I was intrigued, and the more I liked the look of it. The problem is, man, to capture somebody to not only really take a look, but to buy your game, you got to be it's so hard to do. And so, you go to a restaurant and you're like, this is the best whatever food I've had, in this area. And it's like, why is this not packed? It's just getting the name out is so hard to do in this day and age because there's so many, restaurants, or there's so many games out there and everybody's making a game. Everybody can get their engine and develop something. So it looks amazing. It looks like it's crisp and clean and has awesome gameplay. The world is neat. Same thing. I love the developer name though. Weird Beluga. Like what an awesome name. So that's plus points right there. But I really hope that they can get the name out. Hopefully this helps with that, and we'll keep shouting to the rooftops. But it's one of those things like when they're running through and you have all the gears like rolling through, and I love when worlds create just that over the top atmosphere that makes you feel like small and then everything else is larger than life. And this does that. So, man, I really hope that the word can get out there and people can get behind this. And again, like we always say, a lot of time with these indies, the biggest thing you can do is wish list. So
Absolutely.
Anything we've talked about today, if you like it, if it sounds good, go and wish list it. If anything, it'll help the developer, even if you don't end up getting it. But it does help them tremendously. So go and do that.
That's the key, is like, you're not committing to purchasing the game when you wish list it. You're just saying, hey, I'm helping like awareness of this game, because that is how Steam, shows games to people. So it's like, you're not having to commit, nobody's saying, hey, you have to buy this game now and play it and leave a review or something like that. It's just saying, hey, this game looks good. Let's reward these devs. Let me just click wish list on this. Like here, touching on my point before, do you guys remember it was very much a ripoff / clone of Breath of the Wild called Immortals Phoenix Rising? I can't
played
remember
that.
the name. Did you play it?
I did.
And I've heard good things.
It's
like everybody that
completely
played
disappeared from everything.
Exactly. Now they made their money. So I was actually just Googling, and they said the Steam revenue calculator estimates that they made about they grossed about $4 million. So I don't know how much that game cost to make, but that's another game that it's like, that's my worry, right? Is this game that looks great by all accounts, is it going to just fade into obscurity or never even have relevance in the indie genre or indie market because people just won't hear about it? And that seems criminal to me, but unfortunately that's also a thing that indie devs face, and it's also why we do this indie episode every week, man. I mean, these indie devs are pouring their heart and souls into these games. It does not mean that every indie game is good. Like, let's be honest, there's a lot of really bad indie games out there.
Diamonds in the rough, all right?
That's where it's hard to find. Josh, we saw it at the Game On Expo that we just recently went to with John. Like, there was a few developers there. And
I felt so bad.
I know, we played some games, and you could tell these guys just, they poured their heart into these games, and they were so excited, and we played it, and we're like, it looks cool, that's awesome, but it's just,
there's some games where we play it and we go like, there's something here. Like this game might catch on. Like there's something to this. Like we really hope for and then like we won't name names, but yeah, we played a game and we both just walked away and kind of looked at each other, shook our head and go, dude, this game will never make money.
Yeah, that's a massive shame, but that
is
the reality of it. That's the reality of it. I mean,
it absolutely is. And again, that's why we've started doing this indie episode every week, is to try to bring awareness to some games that look like, these are going to be quality games. And then again, just so that our listeners can know about them. Okay, so this one looks weird to me, and I'll be honest, it seems like this game would be right up my alley, but it's a little, I don't know what to think, and it's called Morbid Metal.
Ooh, yeah.
Is this Ryan's making a face?
I thought for sure you were going to be like, yeah, man.
Dude, I picked this one specifically for you. I saw it and I was like, oh, Josh will love this game.
I thought the same thing, like immediately.
But I need something more than just like over the top combat action, dude. Like I've played Darksiders. I haven't actually played Bayonetta, which I hear is one of the best in the genre, but it's like, I don't want to just mash buttons and have it look all fantastic. Like I want to actually have to use skill and timing and things like that. And so button mashy type combat games, they're fun for a little bit, but then my brain just kind of goes like, I just don't want to mash buttons nonstop. I'm not saying that this game is that, because honestly, it actually looks pretty darn cool to a certain degree. But this is very much a hack and slash. I'm going to say Souls-like combat, even though I hate describing everything like that. But I mean, it's a third-person, fast-paced combat. They're describing it as a hack and slash action roguelike. The catch on this one is that you get to switch characters
mid-fight.
Like mid-combo. Like, so you see them going from like this white-cloaked, almost like samurai-looking dude to this like ninja character almost, like mid-combo. And I mean, this game looks really good to me. It could wind up being really good. Like I'm watching some trailers now and my brain's kind of like, I mean, you do kind of like this game, Josh. It does kind of fit what your style is.
It gives me Wukong vibes.
A little bit, yeah.
I look at it and I see Black Myth Wukong, but with a more cyberpunk ninja aesthetic. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, ooh, it's like Devil May Cry, Black Myth Wukong, but now you can shapeshift between different forms instead of changing weapons. Like I was like, oh, that's super cool.
Did either of you play Returnal?
I did not, but I've heard great things.
Okay, so that's the roguelike. It was on PlayStation.
Like
you run around,
sci-fi
you're
one.
Alien Planet.
I did some runs. I didn't play a lot of it, but I played some runs at a buddy's house. He's obsessed with it.
Hard game.
I got a little bit of Returnal vibes. And now maybe that's from the one boss fight where the boss is just shooting out like 1,000 little energy balls.
All those little orbs, yeah.
And they're spinning around them in a circle, and then the character jumps over all those, lands on the head of the boss, and starts going into some gnarly combo. Like the action in this game looks over the top. It is a beautiful looking game. It looks clean. It looks crisp. My only concern with this one is, again, there's a lot of games like this.
It's becoming an oversaturated genre.
It is, unfortunately. And even for somebody like me that loves this genre, like, and this maybe isn't a fair comparison, right? But I have to make this comparison where when there's so many games in this genre, right? And I go, I'm bored. I want a game that I can play for a week until, X game releases that I'm really looking forward to. And I start looking at things. It's like, well, I never played, First Berserker Kazan, which I've heard very good things about. And I know I would like because it's very much a Dark Souls-like game.
Yeah. Same.
Or am I going to play Morbid Metal, where it's like, it looks good, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. And then it's like, that's the choice that gamers are making. And where I worry is like First Berserker Kazan, I know I know gamers that I trust that have said, hey, this game is great. I've watched gameplay and I go, man, this is right up my alley. Morbid Metal looks like it's really cool, but what does it offer me over the other game? And that's the problem, right? When you start getting into these super saturated genres, to me, that's the question. And it's like, you need to have something unique. You need to have some kind of hook in your game, other than just really flashy animations.
Yeah. Flashy animations and great character designs only going to carry us so far.
The thing is though, like, what market's not saturated? Like, everywhere you look, there's 4 million battle royales. There's a million first-person shooters. There's a million roguelikes. There's a million card games. There's every single one. There's so many games coming out now. It's hard to keep track of them all, and that's what we're talking about with like, how do you get your name out there? How do you separate yourself from the other people? So I think that's the thing, Josh, is like, people that have played this other one, it's going to be good. That's less of a risk to try that game versus this one, so it's kind of hard to pick one or the other unless something really kind of sets you off to like, oh, okay, I got to try that out to see if this is what I think it's going to be.
And I think that's where we always say, like, what is the hook of your game, right? Like, if there are 1,000 games in this genre, what sets your game apart from every other game out there? And that is the thing where it's like, we have played plenty of games that are a 7 out of 10 in the genre. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing bad about them. But I mean, no, don't get me started. But that's the thing, right? Is there's nothing special. There's nothing terrible. So what makes this game stand out in this genre? Whereas, we're going to talk about a game here in just a second, honestly, because we're starting to run out of time, called Dreadmoor, that I think looks fantastic. And it's like, because this is something different, right? And yes, it is absolutely, and it doesn't even hide it. It actually says inspired by Dredge, but it's like, but this game captures my attention, like this is standing out to me. Whereas Morbid Metal, I think looks fantastic. Like, legitimately, you both said, Josh, this game is like your kind of game. Yeah. And I agree, but there's 1,000 of these games, man.
Yeah.
So like, am I going to remember Morbid Metal in 6 months when it releases? Like,
I say you don't have to wait long to get some early impressions, at least. Like, it's launching in early access this summer. So we will see if there is anything actually more special about it than just flashy graphics and fun transformations.
And I want to be clear, this is not a slander against Morbid Metal at all. And I'm sorry to use it as the comparison for this, because again, Morbid Metal looks fantastic to me. I mean, you should absolutely check this out. But it's just more of that, like, my brain kind of instantly goes to what game, if I'm going to play this genre, what game am I going to play in that genre that I haven't played yet that has my attention? So, all right. And since we're doing it, guys, let's talk about Dreadmoor. Dude, this game looks, we talk about a game that stands out in a genre. Is the horror fishing genre crowded, Ryan?
I think,
because there's only one other game I know about.
I do, man.
The only one that I can remember. I don't think there's any monsters in Dave the Diver, right? Like, there's no.
I was talking about Dredge, because it's a crowded genre, the horror fishing genre.
Yeah, the horror fishing
one I was going with.
I will say, the second I booted this up, before I read any details, any of the description, I'm like, man, this is a lot like Dredge. Like, I'm feeling this. This looks good. And then the more I watched, the more I liked it. And then afterwards I read it and it's like inspired by Dredge. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, that's why I liked it. It looks good, dude. It looks really good.
Until I saw that inspired by Dredge, I was like, oh boy, here comes the lawsuit.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. No, but we're first person versus
First
the third
person.
person.
Yeah.
They have the
that's what it
exact
is.
same inventory system.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this, dude. This game is instantly like on my wish list. I think this game looks fantastic. Dredge was phenomenal. The art style in Dreadmoor, I think, stands out really, really well.
I wish
It
Sea of
looks
Thieves looked like
creepy.
this.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, that's a very good point. If Sea of Thieves looked like this, I
would
think
be
it would
playing
be
it.
a fantastic looking game at that point. Not that Sea of Thieves is bad looking, but dude, I mean, Dreadmoor, you're fishing. It is Dredge. Anybody that's played it, but there's also upgrade systems. It looks like there's combat because you actually do wind up walking around, and then it shows you like shooting something, like some kind of weird monster looking thing. I think the first person perspective in this lends itself really well to like being in, the wheelhouse of the boat and looking out and seeing some giant monster approaching you. The fishing looks like it's a lot of fun. The inventory system, the upgrades that you're going to get. I mean, that was kind of the fun of Dredge, was just that progression system that they had, that kind of cute but creepy atmosphere. Dreadmoor looks like it captures all of that to me.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, the perspective, just being able to like walk out on the deck of your ship and there's just a giant eldritch fish monster and you're just like,
Oh no!
I'm gonna catch that fish.
I'm gonna get that fish.
we're going to need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. Yeah, this one, and I like too, like crafting like lures and different things like that. Like this definitely has just that dark, gritty, and it's weird to say, but feel good vibes. Like
It does. It's
it's a weird thing, but like it
It's
does.
the
It's like a feel good vibe, But it's kind of scary too. So I am excited for this. Dredge was awesome. I think this will be equally as great. So we'll have to see where this goes. But man, this looks dang cool.
As someone who absolutely adored Dredge, I am absolutely on board with this because holy crap, more Dredge.
Yeah, like legitimately. I mean, Dredge is it's such a fun game to play, to experience. It's not a crazy, like, I'm going to remember this game forever kind of game, but it's like the epitome of like, I'm so glad I just picked this game up and played it and got that experience at the same time. So, and I have a feeling Dreadmoor is going to be exactly like that, where it's just, this was a really good time for a good price. It was a clean, polished game, and I'm really glad that I had the chance to play it. So,
do we know when this one's coming out?
It's release date to be announced.
Yeah.
So that's like every one of these, man. Like every one of them's
at
like,
least said 2025 though.
Yeah, that's true. All right, one more to talk about, boys. This game looks incredible. This is one I'm not sure like what the actual gameplay is going to be like, but man, I saw this and I was like, this game's beautiful. And the combat kind of looks neat to me. It's called Blades of Fire. This is a kind of third-person combat-oriented game, but the hook in this one is the different types of weapons that you use affect how you fight the characters that you're coming up against, and the different monsters, different creatures or characters are weak to certain weapons, whether it be a piercing, a slashing, a blunt weapon, something like that. This kind of trailer that we saw goes into that a little bit. I think the art style is fantastic. I think the animations in this game look great. The weapons look really fun. I mean, it looks like it's like action combat, but it almost has a little bit of like the tactical nature where it's like you really have to think about how you're approaching, like swinging your weapon or thrusting your spear or something like that. What did you guys think about this one?
I thought this game looked crazy good. Like, I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know what you do in it. I don't know if it's a Souls-like, if it's just action, if it's just a hack and slash or what it is. But like, the thing that really sold me on it is you have the 3, damage types, but you could use one weapon to do 2 damage types by shifting the way you hold the weapon. So I was like, oh, your sword is slashing damage usually, but if you change the way you hold it, now it's piercing damage. I was like, that's super cool.
With different attack styles and animations and all that as well. Yeah.
That's just so cool, and it makes common sense. Like, of course.
I definitely, I know I am big time against those tactical turn-based style games. But for this, I got that same feeling where it was not turn-based, but it has that tactical nature, but it's still fluid. It has that flow to it to where you can alter your type of attack or style of attack based on the enemies that you're facing. Look at their weak points, and you can use your weapon as a piercing weapon versus slashing weapon. And so those types of tactical natures are what entice me into a game. The stand and wait while I select this attack and then I attack them and then they attack me. I don't like that. This is what I can get behind when you're talking about a tactical game. And I thought the art style was beautiful. I thought that it looked very fluid. I thought that it had some weight to it, and I loved the kind of combat situation that they had. So overall, man, as far as this style of game, I'm much more enticed with something like this than I am any of the like turn-based stuff or any of those kind of in-depth style combat games.
Yeah, the trailer shows you kind of walking through like castles and dungeons and open forest and stuff like that. You're definitely fighting like, multiple creatures at once. I'm almost reminded, and I've never played this game, but like For Honor kind of jumps to mind, where it's like it is combat.
Yeah,
but
Bro.
but it's just not. It's not like just button mashing. Like it is intentional combat.
Yeah.
And then again, your weapon choice. You can forge weapons and stuff like that. So, all right. So pick I'm gonna make you do this, boys. Pick your top 2 games.
Top two.
And I know there's more because there's more that I'm interested in, and that's hard. But pick your top 2 games out of the list of games that we've talked about that you're most excited for.
If I'm picking one that I want to play by myself specifically, I'm going to pick one for, I want to play with you two, and one I want to play by myself. I really want to play Dust Fade. Dust Fade just looks incredible. It's a super unique looking 3D platformer compared to like whatever else anyone's doing. Like we've talked about 2 other 3D platformers from indie devs this year alone, and they look completely different to Dust Fade. But if I'm talking about games I want to play with y'all, like it's got to be Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core. Like, come on,
for sure.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's to get back in the saddle again, man.
Dude, you can't.
Rockin' Stone.
Yeah, you can't beat it. That's one of mine for sure. Anything Deep Rock Galactic is always top tier for me, and especially when we get to play it with you guys. There's nothing like it. So that's for sure one. The other one is Over the Hill. Surprisingly,
I'm surprised I won someone over.
Dude, I would love to just sit and vibe, and me and you could just go on a road trip, and we live on opposite sides of the country, so us being able to just go on a road trip and explore the wilderness and whatnot would be a pretty cool thing. So I'd like to check that out. So that's my other one.
He gets it, Josh.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping and snoring in the background while you guys are slowly.
You would do it on a regular road trip anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm always driving. I don't get to. So I think for me, absolutely, Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core with you guys is going to be just a ton of fun. Dreadmoor is actually the other one for me. I think there's just something about Dreadmoor that I loved Dredge. I loved that it was an 8-hour game. I loved that it didn't overstay its welcome. I like the progression of that. I like the vibe of it. So yeah, for me, the 2 at the top are Dreadmoor and Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core.
Nice.
If I had to pick just 2. So, oh boy, guys, I don't know how, but we made it through this episode.
We did it!
This is a work.
If the editing of this episode goes well, people will not understand the technical difficulties that Ryan had during this episode, but we'll probably make some highlight reels out of it too.
I'll never
And this
forget
is
today.
another good reminder that, listen, we have really upped our game on social media. We are posting a lot of content to social media that is over and above just what you hear on the podcast. So make sure you are following us. It's at Video Gamers Pod on every platform. Make sure you wishlist some of these games or all of these games. Honestly, these developers have earned that at least. I mean, these games all look really good. You can tell they're made with passion. And let's remember to just support these indie devs. So
big props to every team here, man.
Yeah.
Every team.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Every single one of these
honestly.
is a banger.
Yep. I mean, they all look good. Even as much as I troll Over the Hill, I think the game looks fantastic. Like, legitimately, it's just probably not my genre. But even then, I'm like, dude, this looks like a great video game. So, all right, that's going to do it for this one, everybody. Until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.
Peace out.